Oh, hello, and welcome to Alexa Does Romance, where I tell you about a romance novel I read and then I reread because I loved it so much. So I read it really fast, and then I was like, whoa, 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 that happened too fast. Let me go back and read it again, but really slow, and I'm gonna enjoy it. Well, not always, but that's what happened with this book. The Tyrant Alpha's Rejected Mate by Cate C. Wells. Kate! Ugh! I love you! That's a little intense. I'm sorry about that. I love you. Cate C. Wells has come out the gate with these awesome motorcycle club books, Run Posey Run, Hitting the Wall, and now shifter romance, baby! Ooh, ooh! Or should I say for this one, ooh! Okay, me just improving that made my day. So, the Tyrant Alpha's Rejected Mate. Also, was that good acting? Because there's nothing here when I'm recording. But I looked like I was reading it. Oh my gosh. I'm special. So, anyway, this book is a shifter romance. And it is about Killian and Una. And Killian is the alpha of the Quarry Pack, which is the name of the pack of shifters that Killian and Una are a part of. And in this specific world, or at least in this pack, you don't necessarily become the alpha through blood. You do have to fight for it. So Killian's father actually came in from another pack, fought the alpha, became the alpha, and then Killian, in his own right, became the alpha once his father passed and he fought off a bunch of other people. So he is like the bombdiggitybomb.com strong man. He's alpha. So he's the alpha of this pack. Once he became the alpha, he really wanted to change things. In the past, it was very much like super crazy backwards, like the men were totally taking advantage of the women. Things were really bad. Probably a bunch of trigger warnings and what happened in the pack before Killian took over. So once he started, he really wanted to change things and keep the women safe. And also, it's not like if you're weak, you're like cast out of the pack. No, we're gonna like still take care of you. So that's kind of like his whole thing. It's still pretty backwards. The women really aren't allowed to have like phones or like leave the pack land without like a guy or like leave at all. And so there's still like a lot of stuff that needs to be figured out and fixed. But Killian's like doing his best, which isn't super great because the way that the pack makes money is that all the males in the pack, all the shifter males, are fighters, and they make money from fighting from like basically like the humans like watching them do like fights, like how we watch like cage matches and stuff now, but in the shifter world. Oh, and in this universe, like people do know that shifters exist. Okay, so Una is like this awesome entrepreneurial woman who figured out like her place in the pack right now is like not great as an unmated female, and she's not protected, which means like she doesn't have like her dad or her brothers or anyone like still looking over her. She has to do like kind of like remedial tasks like serving dinner and like just like making sure like everything's going okay for all the other families in the pack. But about 10 years ago, she figured out like, ooh, I can like make my own money, make my own way, be independent from the pack while still being a part of the pack. And the unmated females all work together to figure out ways that they can continue to make money and like sell things at like farmers markets and just kind of find more creature comforts and make their life like better than it normally would be if they weren't pursuing like other avenues to, I don't know, enjoy life. Like they're using the money to do important things like buy a PlayStation, buy the games for the PlayStation, buy a widescreen TV, get alcohol, the good stuff in life, right? Also when Una was a kid, there was an incident where she was watching a baby and the baby almost got attacked by a wolf shifter. So then she jumped in front and covered the baby and pulled it against her stomach. And then Una got attacked by the wolf shifter and ended up getting maimed and was mauled so much that one of her legs got completely destroyed. And even with wolf shifter healing, it never fully got back to normal. So her leg is always in pain, and she kind of like shuffles when she walks. And one of the other wolf shifters came in and like basically like saved her life. So that's like part of her backstory. So to find your fated mate in this world, the female goes into heat, and when she goes into heat, her male recognizes her as his mate, and then they're mated for life. So it usually happens around puberty or a little bit later. It can happen later in life, but a lot of times people, after it hasn't happened for a while, just kind of like give up and are like, okay, maybe I'm just not meant to have like a fated mate. So that's kind of where Una is, and that's where Killian is. Like Killian has basically resigned himself to never having a mate and never having pups. Because really, you only have pups with your fated mate. So one day during dinner service where Una and all her other unmated female friends are serving dinner to the pack, Una starts like feeling some stuff and is like, oh no. And she's like, I think she's in her like mid to late 20s. And she's like, oh no. What's happening? Oh no. And basically she goes into heat and quickly realizes that, oh, you guessed it, Killian is her mate. Killian, for lack of a better phrase, has his head up his ass. and doesn't see it like that at first. So he's like, I'm not your mate. No. I'm not your mate. I'm not your mate. You're cuckoo. Hey, Ty, my buddy, like, can you show her out? That's crazy. That all happens in front of the entire pack. So basically, Una gets rejected. What? Una gets rejected by Killian in front of the entire pack. She's like totally like thrown and like hurt because mates are supposed to recognize each other in that moment. So she takes off in wolf form. She's in a lot of pain. She's very hurt. Killian's like, that's weird. And then it later realizes like, oh no, Una is my mate. I can't believe I rejected my mate. So he has to work really hard to come to terms with that, but also like how he's treated her, and like also getting to know Una more. He realizes how much he really does like care about her and is really into her. And then through her eyes really sees what the pack looks like to an unmated female and what's going on in the different ways people interact with each other and the hierarchies and how things are going and the weird rules about like not having a cell phone and all that kind of stuff. So Killian really has to work to come to terms with that and also see things from her perspective. And then Una is just like, I can't believe like this is happening with Killian. So she has to come to terms with like, well, I need to stay strong in what's important to me and what's important to the other unmated females and how I believe this pack could and should run. And that's where all the goodness happens in the book of them really working towards common goals, but from very different perspectives. If you love shifter romances, if you love more like down to earth kind of gritty stories, yeah, this was just a delight to read. I loved it. I loved being in the world. I wouldn't want to live in that world, but I was happy to visit it. So I hope you enjoy.